friends, welcome to EBTV. Today is one of my favorite episodes. There's so much music in it.
Yay!
I love music. We have fun songwriting in it. We have a singer that we're going to interview, and today in the teaching is part 4 of our series, Discovering God's Purpose for Your Life. And today's part is Don't Give Up.
Ooh.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk to Miss Everett Ray, and she's a little country singer, and she has a great testimony of how she really grew up in a Christian home, but kind of fell off the path. So we're gonna find out what happened in her story.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
She's a beautiful voice too.
Yeah, she
Great
does.
voice. I got to hang out with Chrissy Nordoff and talk about songwriting. She wrote Natalie Grant's Your Great Name, which that song is amazing, and talk about really how she was healed from Lyme disease, and that's how that song came to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, stay tuned. We have that and so much more coming up on EBTV.
This is your time to shine. She walks down the hallway.
Hey friends, I'm Rachel, and I'm hanging out with a country singer and writer. Her name is Everett Ray. Everett, welcome to EBTV.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're so thrilled that you're here with us today.
Oh,
so
thank
you're
you.
only 20 years old, and you do a lot of different things. You sing country music, you write online for blogs, and you also have an amazing testimony.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear more about it. You kind of grew up in a Christian household.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My parents have been such a great example. Ever since, growing up, they've been together for 30 years. They're
Yeah.
Christ-filled marriage. It's just
That's
a great
awesome.
example. Building up their kids.
So you kind of grew up knowing right from wrong. They taught you biblical values.
Oh, yeah.
And as you went into middle school and high school, kind of what happened?
I think my free spirit kind of led me to saying yes to a lot of things, and sometimes those yeses swept me into the wrong direction without me really even noticing it.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to remember, because we look at Jesus and he was very accepting. He
Right.
loved everyone, but he never sinned.
Right.
And sometimes it's easy when we're the type of person that doesn't like to make a scene or make other people feel bad. We just kind of
Right.
go with the flow.
Right.
And what kind of things did that lead you into?
You know, that led me into, first and foremost, friendships that were very negative, and focused on the wrong things. So whether that was boys, obsessing over silly worldly things through middle school, and then eventually through high school, leading me into just being surrounded by drugs and alcohol and sex, and all that seeming like it was okay, and just like a very accepted thing. When you're around people who you have grown to love, you also kind of want to love what they love.
Right, and in the world, those things are accepted
Yes.
and accepted.
Yes.
And so as you dived into this world of like premarital sex or drinking or substances or whatever it was, did it lead you towards happiness?
No, not at all. Everything seems really appealing from far off. Obviously Hollywood does a great job of making, everything, sex, alcohol. It looks so wonderful, doesn't it? And
It
the thing
does.
is it's really not.
No.
It's terrible. It really led me into I'm a very happy person just naturally.
Right.
But it led me into kind of losing myself and losing me, which is joy and hope and just happiness in the Lord, So yeah, I lost everything, like everything in me, from all that,
Right, so it kind of left you empty-handed. They
Oh,
were like
yes.
empty promises.
Yes,
The way the enemy
for
works
sure.
is he makes it look so alluring. He says, it's so easy to be happy. This is
Oh,
all you
right.
have to do.
Oh, right.
And it's a lie.
Oh, it is.
And you found that out. So you were left empty-handed, without the relationships or anything in your life. And then what happened?
After just a time of darkness, and kind of just lost, I always had God with me, and remembered his promises, and I would still go to church on Sundays, and slowly you realize that you're living a parallel kind of life, and you're doing one thing and
double life.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think God just slowly revealed himself more and more of how wonderful he is, and the more his presence came to me, and the more he sent wonderful people, the more I just kind of shifted more and more, and gravitated towards him, and just yeah, the Holy Spirit just filled me more and more in learning and growing in the Word.
And that's amazing, because nothing can separate us from the love of God, no matter what we go through in life.
Oh, I know.
And all of that kind of brought you to where you are today, where you're writing country music and you're singing.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your new EP.
Well, I'm so excited about it. It is called Sugar Rush, and it's a 7-song EP, and it's everything from like fun love songs to songs about just being you and being okay with who you are, you know, as a woman in the world. And I'm very excited. I wrote every song on the EP and was in the studio helping produce it. We spent almost 2 years making this.
And you also have a new music video.
Yes, ma'am. Gypsy Soul, and that's actually on the EP as well.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that song.
That song touches me a lot. I actually wrote that song a long time ago, in the midst of my darkness and my testimony is when I wrote that song. And I can just remember sitting at the keyboard, writing it in about 20 minutes and just crying.
Wow.
Crying. And something comes to you and I'm like, oh my goodness, why am I writing this? And you know, I thought it was a message to other girls, and of course it is to everyone about being you and going back to you. And but really, I think as I've been singing it more and more, it was a message to me when I was writing it,
And that's
you know,
awesome.
from God, I think.
Well, we're about to check out a clip of it, but thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
It's been so awesome.
Thank you.
So check out Everett Ray's music video.
Ruby red lips and light blonde hair, but there's a whole lot more than that. Contagious smile that's so sincere, makes you wanna live like that. But people are mean and told her things that aren't true, so she traded in her love for life, leaving.
I'm Sarah, and I was wondering, what is your advice on forgiving somebody who's really hurt your feelings? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that question. I know that people have hurt me. I've hurt people.
Absolutely.
Especially forgiving somebody that really hurt you is hard. But we do it because God says to, and it's not, you don't forgive when you feel ready, because you're never going to be ready. It's not a feeling. Like, you just do it. And what I've learned is that, you know, it hurts me more than the other person.
Right.
So in the end, you know, it has nothing to do with them, and you just do it. And like Ashley, you said, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, none of us are perfect. We're all gonna hurt people. I mean, Rachel and I work here full time together, so I'm sure there's times when I've made a comment in passing and it's hurt you, and I don't mean to do it. You know, we're friends, and it is hard when it's someone close to you that hurts you too, because you think that those people love you the most, but
And they're often the people that hurt you the most.
Yeah.
Because we expect a lot out of them. And when I think of what should I do if I have to forgive someone, the first thing I do is after I get over being angry in my head, I'm thinking, I have to bring this to God, because there is no way I can let this go on my own. It's just not possible. I'm not that great of a person without God. So I really give it to Him and ask Him to work in my heart to allow me to see the situation in a different light. Maybe I had a part in it, and maybe I need to ask for forgiveness too.
That's such you know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There are so many times where I have all this anger festering in me because someone hurt me, and then once you step back, it's like, well, wait a minute. I did this, and this action that really caused more into that situation. You know, when you do step back and ask God for help, He does reveal ways that maybe we've had a part to play in that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying, or maybe it's kind of new, that says when you forgive someone, it's letting or freeing a prisoner, and the prisoner is you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for that question. If you'd like to send us more, just shoot us an email.
Want more beautiful things in your life? You can contact EBTV. Find EBTV online at everythingbeautifultv.com. Check out our Facebook and Twitter, or you can write to the address on your screen, or call us at 615-754-0039.
Hey girls, it's Amy. Have you ever tried to write a song or wonder what it'd be like to be a songwriter? Well, today I have a special guest, Chrissy Nordoff, singer, songwriter, worship leader, and mom. So welcome.
Thank
Chrissy.
you. Good to be here with you.
Well, to begin with, you wrote the song Your Great Name by Natalie Grant, which is amazing and has reached so many people and has helped everybody. But your story behind that is amazing. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah, I'll share a little bit. So I had advanced stage Lyme disease, which is caused from a tick bite, and went through kind of a crazy time of, waiting on the Lord to heal me, and I had believed that He promised He would heal me, and it took really 2 years for that to manifest. But when it happened, I felt Him physically touch my body in a way I didn't even really know if He could before it happened to me. And so in that moment, everything changed for me in that one moment. So my faith, who I knew God to be, and my understanding of His love for me, it all changed in that moment. So then, fast forward several years later, there was a little boy in our church, and we prayed for him for healing. And ultimately, the Lord did not heal him the way we wanted Him to, and he went to heaven, and it was kind of a blow for our church. And before that, we had just started praying for healing. Once that happened, it kind of stopped. Yeah. And so really, out of those two experiences, something just rose up inside of me, and I just wanted to express who I knew Jesus said He was, and what the Word says He was, and that yes, He does heal, He does raise from the dead, He's done all of those things. That's who He is, and everything else will have to bow at His name, regardless of how we end up seeing things. He is in control, He's in charge, and I believe we go to Him for healing every time.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I know that song has reached everybody, but you, being a songwriter, you must have some great tips on people that want to pursue that or that even interested in that. And so coming up, I'm going to ask you to just go over some, basic points to tell girls that are looking at this and want to know even where to start for it. So,
yeah, I would love to do that.
All right, awesome. We will be right back with all of her tips on how to be a songwriter, so stay tuned.
Welcome to part 4 of our series, Discovering God's Purpose for Your Life. Today is the very last part. If you've missed parts 1 through 3, check out our website and you'll find everything you need to catch you up to speed. Today we're going to talk about don't give up and how to not give up. Once you're on that narrow road, once you've found those gifts and talents and you think you know what your purpose is and you're taking steps of faith to accomplish that, how do we stay on it and how do we not give up? Well, let me be the first one to tell you that it can be super challenging, but it's so worth it. And the Bible specifically tells us here in Philippians 4:13, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. We have a God that goes before us. We have a God that prepares a way for us. We have a God that loves us and that makes a way for us. We have a God that knows every hair on our head, that knows our beginning day all the way to our last day. He sees the entire picture. He gets the whole plan. He knows that we can do it. He has given us the ability to do it. And when we don't feel like we have the strength to keep going, He has said, don't you give up, because you can do everything through me. How awesome is that? I'm reading a book right now. It's called God-Sized Dreams, and it's by Holly Girth. It's an awesome book. She says something that I just absolutely love. Listen to this. She says here, what is most likely to defeat you isn't external circumstances or challenges. It is you. Don't give in to discouragement, doubt, or fear. The Bible specifically tells us that we have an enemy. Satan is out there. His purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy the life and the purpose that God wants us to live. That's it. That is his entire purpose. That is what he lives to do. Once you start putting this into motion, I promise you that there's going to be times where you feel a lot of pressure, and it might seem like you just can't handle it anymore. But remember that verse, through Christ, He will give you the strength that you need. Christ has already overcome the world.
which includes Satan. So through Christ, you can do it. Do not give up. We have to keep our dreams in front of us. To push out all of these distractions that the world throws our way, it's really important that we keep focused. Make a vision board. Stick it up in your bedroom. Hang some pictures on it of stuff that encourages you, your favorite Bible verse, somebody who you look up to, a mentor. And surround yourself with a group of friends who are encouraging, who are following God, who are striving to live this walk and walk this the way that you're doing. Something else that I found really, really helpful in my life, look for someone a little bit older than you that's doing something similar to what you believe God's called you to do, and ask them to mentor you. Ask them to disciple you. Ask questions. How did you get here? How did you do this? When this happened, when it got really hard, what did you do? What verses did you pray? How did you do it? I promise you they'll help you. Email us at EBTV. We would love to help and encourage you girls. That's what we're here for. Let me give you a fun example. I moved to Nashville because I wanted to be a singer and a songwriter. I would come in my house, I would sit in my house, write my songs. But I was so scared to go out and play a songwriter's night. And, I just thought, if this is what God's called me to do, then he'll make a way to do it. I was so passionate. But can I tell you something? Passion alone doesn't make our dreams a reality. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of studying. I would get so frustrated because I would think, gosh, God, you called me to do this. I stepped out in faith. I moved to Nashville. Here I am. Why aren't you opening any doors? Well, if I'm just sitting on my couch, God's probably not going to open the door. It's not his fault that I'm frustrated and nothing's happening in my life. It's my fault because I'm sitting here being frustrated, doing nothing, and then I decide to give up and maybe move on to something a little bit less fulfilling. No, just being passionate about something isn't going to make all of your dreams and your purpose that God has placed in your heart come true and be a reality. You got to step out in faith. We got to put our hard work and effort in line with God's purpose and God's strength, and the two of those together will open doors. They will move the mountains that we need. They will make a way that we need. We have to do our part. It's not just God's responsibility. He has equipped us with what we need to live out this life. No matter what challenges or circumstances come your way, remember that you have a God that will never leave you, that will never forsake you, that goes before you, that makes a way for you, that covers you, that loves you, that is for you. God is for you. No matter what you've been through, no matter what your past says, no matter what people may say about you, your God is for you and he loves you, and he has created you specifically for this time to live out the purpose that he's given just for you. Get up off the couch, steadily move forward, get in the Word, pray, trust God, and don't ever, ever give up.
Hey everyone, welcome to Everything Beautiful TV.
There can never be more beautiful you.
Go to everythingbeautifultv.com and get creative with do-it-yourself projects and fashion tips. Check out videos, read real talk blogs from real girls, find out where Henry's been spotted, watch EBTV on the Christian Television Network, and go to everythingbeautifultv.com now.
Just one drop of your love, a single ray of sun, just one thing.
Hey girls, it's Amy, and I'm here with Chrissy Nordoff, who's going to share some great songwriting tips. So if you don't mind just going into it.
Yeah, I would love to. Well, my very favorite class in college was songwriting, and I got to have Gloria Gaither as my teacher. So she taught me one of the main things that I know just about structuring songs, and that is song mapping, which I think is huge. So basically what you do is you just take an idea, and these would be lyrical ideas. So if you have one main word or one main phrase you kind of want to focus on, I would put that in the center of a piece of paper, circle that, and then draw little spokes out all around it. Just brainstorm. Think about other words that relate to that center word or that center idea. And then as you're structuring your song into verses and chorus, you want to make sure that that center word is in the heart of your song in the chorus. And so that's one basic idea. You want to add as much as you can as far as poetic devices like rhyme and alliteration, those types of things. And then you want to keep it in one person. So if it's me the whole time, just keep it consistent. If it's you or if it's us, or them. Just keep it in the same tense throughout the entire song. I would say those are some basics.
Yeah.
But really, what I believe is most important, beyond the structure, beyond the rules, is really following your heart. I believe anybody can do this. And what I've learned the hard way, because I've tried it every other way, is that the best songs come when your heart is tuned into the Lord. And really, it's more of a matter of listening to what the Spirit's saying in the moment than actually trying to come up with something and try to create. So there's an odd balance between those two things. The song mapping is great for giving you kind of a basic place to start. But overall, when your heart's open to the Lord, He will deliver any message that He has for you just through you listening.
That's awesome. I never would have thought of that. And you actually mentor songwriters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you kind of talk about that and when you do it?
Yeah, so the Lord has given me girls, through the years, and I've had a couple for 7 years at a time or whatever, but right now we've got a girls group in town that meets once a month, and we just get together, talk about maybe something that the Lord has put on one of our hearts. We have worship, and then a lot of times we'll do a writing exercise. And then we also break into twos and pray for each other and make sure we pray with people we don't know. And it's just a great way to support each other in songwriting, but also in life, and that's key. So find somebody to mentor you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And if you have any more, if you guys have any questions, we will have all of your information on our website at everythingbeautifultv.com. Thank you so much again for being here.
Thanks, Amy, for having me.
You're welcome.
You might be drifting, can't find the shore, so hopeless.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I know I loved what Chrissy had to say about the songwriting. I mean, being kind of starting in songwriting.
Yeah.
I never thought of the chart where you put the idea and then you go around, and her being a mentor and getting out there. I mean, so many cool things that we just don't even think about.
Yeah.
And she has a great testimony too.
Her story is amazing.
It's completely amazing. And we had a lot of fun hanging out with Miss Everett Ray, a little country singer. She's a very sweet girl, and she has a great story of really how she grew up in a Christian home, like many of you have, and she just made decisions along the way, got swept up in the wrong crowd, and she fell off the path. And even though she went through some really hard stuff, God was still there waiting for her. And she's forgiven now, and she's living a life that she feels like it's God's purpose for her.
Absolutely. And both of those stories tie right into our teaching series, Discovering God's Purpose. And today was part 4, and we talked about don't give up. You know, it might be hard, but don't give up. I'm sure we've all had challenges, right?
I remember something a friend told me. She goes, Amy, it does not matter how many times you fall, but it's how many times you get back up. And that has stuck with me, even through the years when I literally thought I was done with God and He had given up on me. It's like, no, you keep getting up every morning.
But how much did you learn through those times when you fall, and God just reveals Himself to you even more every time you get back up, and He's shaping and molding us through those times. It's the path that He's taking us on, and it can be fun. It might not always be easy, but it can be fun. And the path that He chose for us is really the most fulfilling, Girls, we hope you learned and you had so much fun. Check out our website, and we will see you next time.
You're one in a million.